Tonight, Memphis is bracing for the arrival of the National Guard.
They are coming.
America, we just witnessed a masterclass in political double talk from Memphis Mayor Paul Young. After President Trump announced National Guard deployment to Memphis to combat crime, this Democrat mayor gave the most diplomatic non-answer I've ever heard. He says he didn't ask for the National Guard, but then immediately pivots to wanting to drive how they engage in our city. But here's the kicker. Memphis has been reporting a 25-year low in crime while simultaneously being ranked as having the highest violent crime rate in the country by the FBI. You can't make this stuff up.
I want to be clear, I did not ask for the National Guard, and I don't think it's the way to drive down crime. However, that decision has been made.
What is up, guys? Tyson De La Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. This is exactly why elections have consequences. And today I'm breaking down the Memphis mayor's impossible position and why the National Guard deployment is absolutely necessary. Let me break down what happened here. Mayor Paul Young is trying to play both sides of the issue, and it's actually painful to watch. On one hand, he's got to keep his liberal base happy by acting like he doesn't want federal intervention. On the other hand, he desperately needs help because his city is falling apart.
At the end of the day, my goal is to make sure that if they are coming here, which we now know they are, that we are able to drive how they engage in our city.
They are coming. It's not the mayor's call. The mayor doesn't have a say.
A call President Trump made official Friday, reverberating across the state among Shelby County lawmakers.
It's not something that Memphians want. It's not something we asked for.
Watch how this mayor operates. He says, I didn't ask for the National Guard, but then talks about wanting to drive how they engage. That's political speak for I need this help, but I can't admit publicly because my voters will turn on me.
I'm certainly not happy about the National Guard. I am looking forward to trying to find ways to invest in the things that we're already doing to address crime in our city.
There it is, investing in things we're already doing. That's code for giving more taxpayer money for the same failed programs that aren't working. This is the grift I've been talking about. They don't want accountability. They just want more money.
Bring the National Guard? Oh no.
This is a moment where Memphis must unite with one clear message, with one clear sound that we do not want the National Guard in our city.
Now let's look at how the community is responding, because it's not what the mainstream media wants you to think. Some residents are actually welcoming this help.
It makes me as happy as a fat man at a Golden Corral buffet. This is something that's been needed for a while.
But of course, you have the usual suspects complaining about it. Listen to this community activist.
I think that this has intensified and increased the possibility of another Tyre Nichols situation, and I don't think anybody of good faith and conscience wants that.
Here we go again with the fear mongering. Instead of focusing on protecting law-abiding citizens from criminals, they're worried about criminals facing consequences. This is backwards.
And you know, it's just so dangerous that you can't get out of your car, you can't go to the grocery store, you can't go to the market or the service station. So yeah, I want to see the crime stop. And if the National Guard is going to stop the crime, bring them out.
This is the reality on the ground. Residents can't even go to the grocery store safely. But politicians and activists want to focus on everything except for protecting these people.
About violent crime, the murder rate, for example. To me, that is not the litmus test for whether a city is safe or not. Folks are tired of these routine property crimes as well. They're not going downtown to eat on a Friday night because they are afraid of coming out of the restaurant and having their windows busted out again.
Here's where this gets really interesting. Memphis police are claiming a 25-year low in crime, but FBI ranks Memphis as having the highest violent crime rate in the country. How is that possible?
We need unity around the fact that crime is out of control, and we need every partner available to us, local, state, federal, to help us get this under control.
I've been hearing about crime reduction my entire life. If crime has been going down so much for this long, there shouldn't be any crime left by now. But here's the trick. They're reclassifying crimes. They're letting people go without charges, and they're cooking the books.
As stats show a 36% decrease in crime in Hickory Hill compared to 2024.
They claim a 36% decrease in Hickory Valley, but we just heard from a resident who can't even go to the grocery store safely. These statistics Statistics are meaningless when people are living in fear. This is exactly why elections have consequences. We voted for a president who would actually enforce law and order instead of making excuses for criminals. The National Guard deployment to Washington, D.C. was a massive success, and it'll work in Memphis too.
We're going to Memphis. Memphis is
That's the next city.
deeply troubled. We're going to fix that just like we did Washington.
President Trump is doing exactly what he promised, bringing law and order to cities that Democrat mayors have allowed to spiral out of control. And notice how the mayor admits he was involved in talks with the White House about this deployment, even though he claims he didn't ask for it.
Democratic Memphis Mayor Paul Young was also involved with the talks.
So he was involved in talks but didn't ask for it. This is the kind of political doublespeak that drives me absolutely insane. He knows his city needs help, but he can't say it publicly because his base will turn on him. Here's what gets me about this whole situation. Every time there's a crime problem, these Democrat mayors want to throw more money at community programs and intervention groups. But here's the reality. Police are first responders, not elected officials. They can't prevent crime.
In order for you to have to think about crime in Memphis, you have to get to the root cause of the crime. Where there's poverty, there's going to be crime. Put more effort into trying to rebuild a community, creating jobs.
They've been running this same playbook in blue cities for decades. Address root causes, invest in the community, create jobs.
I'm disappointed that the governor is accepting this. If this was a true measure, he could have done this a long time ago. He didn't need the president to tell him as the chief of the Tennessee troops what to do. So it's very, it's not surprising, but it's nonsense.
Meanwhile, crime keeps getting worse, and the only people getting richer are the nonprofit organizations running these programs.
Calvo says deploying troops will not fix any crime issue long term and questions why the action, if really needed, was not taken before now.
Adding more resources into these communities will only make nonprofits and community organizers richer, while actual residents continue to suffer. We've seen this movie before in every Democrat-run city. America, this Memphis situation perfectly illustrates the failure of Democrat governance. You have a mayor who knows his city needs help but can't admit it publicly. You have activists more concerned about protecting criminals than victims. And you have a community that's literally trapped in their homes because it's too dangerous to go to the store. The National Guard deployment to Washington, D.C. was a massive success, and it's going to work in Memphis too. When local leadership fails, federal intervention becomes necessary. That's not authoritarianism, that's leadership. The mayor can play his diplomatic games all he wants, but the residents of Memphis deserve to feel safe in their own neighborhoods. They deserve to be able to go to the grocery store without fear, and they deserve leaders who actually want to protect them instead of making excuses for criminals terrorizing their neighborhoods. This is exactly what we voted for in November, a president who will take action when local leaders fail. The days of letting Democrat mayors run cities into the ground while making excuses is over. Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.